Sure, it was cool watching Butcher, Ryan, and Kimiko beat the living shit out of Homelander. It was awesome watching Homelander grovel like a baby once he was depowered. And it was super cute to watch Huey and Annie uh, in their moment talking about her baby, and I should say their baby named Robin. But the boys' final season felt like a disaster. Welcome back, everybody, to my last brain cell. Happy Friday, Junior, everybody. As you can tell, I'm a little peeved about the boys. I know we just talked about it the other day, like on the previous episode. We just talked about the boys. And we talked about it because I said the penultimate episode had just happened. And it didn't feel like we were really making any progress towards any type of conclusions. And I think I figured it out. So let's talk about this final episode. This is probably gonna be the bulk of what we talk about today. I might get to the wheel. We might get a question of the day, but we're gonna talk about the boys for a bit. So I feel like the final episode, if we're judging it by the episode itself, it was a valid episode. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed everything up until Butcher decided that, you know what, yeah, maybe I should go kill all soups. And I get it. It was his plan all along to kill the superheroes. He wanted to kill the superheroes from the jump. And I can kind of understand his reasoning, right? He thought, okay, now that this is all over, me and Ryan, we have a chance to lead a normal life. Well, Ryan left him. And I don't blame Ryan. Butcher is a shitty person. He probably didn't trust him after everything was said and done. So he left. But then Butcher goes into his room and sees his dog is dead. So he's just like, you know what? I have nothing else to live for. So I might as well go ahead and jump in my murder path again. I did not like that. I wish he brought the virus with him after, you know what I mean, like expecting Kimiko to be able to depower Homelander, right? Not knowing how it would depower him. If he brought the virus with him right then and there and was like, we might as well go finish the job, I would have been like, cool, I now understand everything. But to have them go and celebrate, I don't know, man. And you know, maybe they couldn't do it because then maybe with Ryan there, Ryan might have like, no, I can't see Ryan changing his mind either. He still would have probably been just as stubborn. He probably still would have needed to die. And I guess they just wanted to have him and Huey have their moment. I don't know, man. I just really feel like I think this final season was garbage. This final episode was definitely the highlight of the season. I would say besides yeah, this episode is definitely the highlight of the season. I think the problem is all the episodes felt episodic. They didn't really feel like they were flowing together to make a cohesive story in the end. I like it feels like they gave up they filmed the finale and then were like, what else can we piecemeal in here to make it all kind of hopefully fit together? That's what it felt like. It made me so aggravated. As far as final episodes go, if we're gonna come, because I didn't know if it was gonna be Game of Thrones bad. I didn't watch the final season of Stranger Things. I didn't really hear too many good things to make me want to tune into it. I'll probably catch it eventually, but it wasn't high on my priority list. So if we're gonna compare what I heard about Stranger Things, what I saw from Game of Thrones, what I saw from The Boys probably still is the better of the three. But this final season, man, they again super cute, right? You had at the end, you had Huey and Annie, Starlight. She is super pregnant. I want to say at least 4 or 5 months along. She's still doing Starlight things. Also, can we talk about how they had her super depowered all season long for only God knows what reason? They had her like charging up to fight. It was so. I mean, she didn't even need to. Stupid. The boys was this whole season was a really good showing of your powers are at the discretion of the writer. Your powers will only work if it pushes the plot forward. When your powers are an inconvenience to the plot, guess what? You're depowered. That's what Starlight felt like this entire season. But yeah, she's pregnant. They're gonna name their kid Robin. I think that's adorable. I think that's also very progressive of Starlight. I don't know how I would feel if my wife said to me, "Hey, can we name our child my dead ex-boyfriend that the superhero ran through?" I'm pretty sure I would contest until I'm blue in the face. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. Unless it was a name that I was like, oh well, you know what? It just so happens that I also like this name, so let's do it. No. But not my baby. Yeah, it I said it before, I'll say it again. It just really felt like this season was more about setting up for future spin-offs. You know, they already kind of teased that Huey might potentially go work for the president. I don't know, man. It was also nice to see that Ryan decided to live with MM and his wife and his daughter. I think that's pretty cool. Ryan needed a family. Butcher was not going to be a family for him anyway. Butcher needed to die, I guess, especially if he really was fully intent on killing all superheroes. Not all superheroes are garbage, and I feel like a lot of the garbage superheroes were because they were at the whim of Homelander because they were afraid of him. But at the end of the day, Homelander and Anthony Starr, mwah, chef's kiss. His acting was brilliant. Everyone's acting was brilliant, but especially Anthony Starr, when you can see him switch from scary superhero to intimidated man child. It was incredible. Yeah, his groveling scene was, I loved it. And I think I can speak for everyone when I say this is the first time I've seen someone get their muffin cap peeled back blue. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the Wheel of Fun. It's been doing that a lot lately, going backwards. Movies. Damn, we just talked about a bunch of movies. I have not watched anything new in terms of movies. I've been watching a lot of like random stuff though. I watched the two original Mummy movies. I've really enjoyed both of those. And it's so funny, right? Watching older movies nowadays because when I was a kid, I'm sure the Mummy was like revolutionary to me, right? Especially the Mummy Returns. And I say the Mummy Returns because of Scorpion King. So when they had The Rock animated as the Scorpion King towards the end, or at the end for the climactic battle, I'm sure child me was like, whoa, that's crazy. Whoa, he looks so cool. Whoa. But now I'm like, geez, that CGI is horrible. But it made me wonder, I wonder if some of those older movies, if they were upscaled to today, how good would they actually look? Like, would The Rock's Scorpion King look super menacing? Would he be bigger? Would he be the same size? Would they have The Rock in motion capture? Those are the kind of things I think about. Even for, I watched my girlfriend and I, we watched Alien Romulus together. But I watched all the other Alien movies. I watched 1, 2, 3. For shits and giggles, I watched AVP 1 and 2. I watched Prometheus eventually. That was the last one I watched. I really enjoyed that one. I watched Prometheus. I watched Covenant. I watched all the Alien movies, right? Resurrection, everything. I wonder how those, like, I guess I shouldn't have to wonder because we've seen how those movies can look nowadays with the ones like Prometheus, Covenant, and Romulus, right? We've seen what technology could do for an old school movie. So I do wonder how some older movies, even something like, um, hmm, I'm trying to think of another really good example that has some really shady CGI, but I can't think of one. The Mummy and Alien movies are the only like old school movies that I've watched in recent time to really be able to think about like some really bad CGI. Because like we're in 2026. Obviously, those movies are damn near 30 years old, right? But then I think about something like the Avengers, the very first Avengers, and that CGI holds up super well. Like, holy cow. I'm really surprised at how good Avengers 1 looks 14 years later. I think Avenger 1 looks better than some parts in Infinity War. I stand by that. Iron Man's suit in Infinity War is super cool. But the old school, clunky, thick armor look that he used to have just can't be beat. And I think visually, that armor looks better than the Infinity War armor. Say what you want. Yeah, but my girlfriend and I are gonna go see Passenger this coming weekend. Super excited for that. I like I said to you guys, this is a horror orgy month, and I am super ecstatic. And before I forget, I hope you guys enjoyed the impromptu video. It was really bizarre trying to capture both POVs. I'm super embarrassed about my shirt. It was so hot when I was recording that video, but I knew I needed to record it then because I knew I wouldn't have any time to record it later. It was so hot when I was recording that video, man. Oh, it was horrible. I did not enjoy that. Yeah, so my shirt went from super dry to a nice sweat patch right at the neck. Embarrassing. Or should I say, embarrassing? Yeah, that was embarrassing. But before I let you guys go, let's go ahead and get into the question of the day. And today's question of the day is going to sound bizarre. I'm sure most of them do anyway to y'all, but it's just how my brain works. Aliens have crashed on the planet and they're about to take over. But they choose you to show them three things as to why humanity should not be erased. What do you show them? So I've really put a lot of thought into this personally. I think I show them some of the best food I can find. I think I would show them, I don't know if I would show them New York style pizza or a burger. Because I doubt aliens have had cuisine like that before in their life, right? They're going to be like, whoa, this is actually pretty tasty. I'm like, would you believe that some of these ingredients come from animals? They're like, oh, okay, right? I think I would show them, I was going to say video games, but I think they would get bored with video games because they wouldn't understand the allure. I don't think aliens will understand the allure of sitting down and playing with a joystick. I think they will understand the allure of eating because, like eating like foods like that, because they need sustenance themselves. But I don't think aliens would understand the allure of playing. I'm sure they have their own forms of entertainment, like I don't know. I don't know how aliens entertain them. I'm sure there's some type of shows or whatever. I'm sure they have jokes and comedies, but I don't think they would have. I don't think they would enjoy the art of the video game. I would try it, but I don't think they would enjoy it that much. But the third thing I would show them, and I would entice them, they have to watch the entire thing. One Piece. One Piece. I would single-handedly save humanity by showing them One Piece. I mean, listen, you can't, what's what I'm looking for? You can't judge it based on how it is right now. Gotta wait for it to finish. You gotta watch the whole thing. You gotta enjoy the entire story. I put them on to the anime first and then the manga. Like, yeah, go read the manga from chapter 1 down. Enjoy. I would single-handedly save humanity. But let me know what you guys would pick to show the aliens, to let them know that humanity itself should be spared. And while you do that, I'm gonna actually wrap it up here. I ain't got much else for you. I appreciate you tuning in and stopping by though. And until next time, this is King Echo signing off.